Good evening, y'all. Come on in the room. Uh Happy Sunday. It is December 21st. We have one more Sunday left in the year. Come on in the room. You know what we do when we get here. Drop your name. Um, Say hello. Let me know who is joining. If you catch this in the replay, do the same. Say replay and or type replay and let me know that you are on or that you are watching. We'll give we'll give the room a minute or two to set up. It's been hopefully you all have had a good day. It was a great day here in the Midwest. We were not in the deep freeze. It was but not quite balmy, but it was just nice. It was a great day. Um, so yes, we're at um, the last Sunday, second to the last Sunday of the year. So we have one more Sunday. Today's the 21st. The last Sunday of the year will be December 28th. December 28th. So I'm not sure about you if you're traveling over the Christmas holiday or if you are staying close to home. um, Whatever you may be doing. I hope it is full of great things, spending time with loved ones, all the things. So, as you are coming in, I'll give it another 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna jump right in because I don't want to be before you long this evening because I'm in the midst of making cookies, or not making them, making cookie dough so that I can get them all baked up um, early, early. So come on in the room and then um, we'll get started. It is the holiday season, so I know people are out and about, and uh, everyone may be gathering. So I'm not going to prolong. You'll catch it in the replay. But tonight, somebody say tonight. Tonight we are talking about closing the year. So remember last week we talked about finishing strong. And so tonight we are closing the year. And closing the year, we're looking forward with clarity and intention, or intention and alignment. Uh, Clarity, intentionality, alignment. Those are the three areas that we are um, going to be looking at. And so what we want to do is honor the season, right? As we close the year, we don't want to rehash everything that happened or didn't happen. But what we want to do is we're pressing pause, right? Remember, we talked about pressing pause earlier. We're not here to um, rehash everything that happened or didn't happen. This isn't a post mortem, but this is a pause because we understand that growth is not rushed, um, and reflection is not meant to trap us in the past. Let me say that again. Growth is not rushed, and reflection is not meant to trap us in the past. Reflection is simply meant to clarify to us for what's next. Reflection is meant to clarify us for what's next. So today we're going to honor the year not by holding on to it, but listening to what it taught us. We are not going to hold 2025 hostage. We're going to let 2025 go, but we're going to listen to what it taught us and allow the wisdom, because we gained some wisdom this year. 2025 taught us and we gained wisdom, and we're going to use those lessons that we learned and the wisdom that we gained, and we're going to move forward. We're going to use those lessons to guide us forward. So, looking back without becoming anchored there, we look back with compassion, not with criticism. When we sit back and we reflect on 2025, we're going to look back with compassion. And we're not going to criticize. We're not going to be critical. We're not going to pick ourselves apart. We're going to acknowledge the moments that stretched us. So raise your hand. If you were stretched in 2025, raise your hand, acknowledge it. We want to recognize the seasons that challenged our energy, our focus, and our consistency. We're going to recognize the seasons that challenge our energy, our focus, and our consistency, but we are going to affirm the progress. Whether it was visible, whether the progress was visible to the world, or whether it was quiet, whether it was internal, whether it was behind the scenes, and we're going to we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate it. We're not going to be quiet about it. We're going to celebrate it. We're not going to say, oh, it wasn't all that big of, nope, it was a big deal. Any progress in any form is a big deal. So we're going to affirm the progress, whether visible or quiet, but we're not going to linger there. We're not going to linger in that space. Why? Because the purpose of reflection is not to keep us looking backwards. It is to help us move forward with intention. If you keep your focus, if you continue to look, if you allow yourself to get stuck in reflection, then you are hindering yourself from moving forward. So reflection is not to keep us looking behind or backward. It is to help us move forward with intention. When we sit back and reflect on the things that we did, the places that we went, the struggles that we had, we should be pulling out nuggets from those places, those instances, and we should be using those nuggets, those lessons, those challenges. We should be using those things to move us forward with intention. The year behind us becomes valuable only when it informs us of how to choose, or how we choose to live next. Y'all, let me say it again because it is worth repeating. We only the year behind us becomes valuable only when it informs us how we choose to live next. So instead of asking, what did I accomplish? Get out your pen and paper. Ask these things. What did this year teach me about my capacity? What did this year teach me about my capacity? What was I able to hold? What was I able to carry and still make progress? What was I able to manage and maintain capacity and still move forward? Number two, what patterns did it reveal? What patterns did this year reveal to you? Were they good? Were they sustainable? Were they healthy habits, or were they bad habits? And what did I learn about what truly nourishes me and what drains me? What did 2025 teach you about what feeds you, what gives you life, what sustains you, and what did it show you, or what did it teach you about what drains you? Is it relationships? Is it how you fed yourself, how you fueled your body, or the lack of it? What did you learn about what nourishes you? And then reflection is gentle, it's honest, and it's forward facing. When you take the time, hey, Auntie Millie, when you take the time to sit down sometime between now and the end of the year, or in the early part of January, don't get out of January without reflecting. When you sit back and reflect, what did this year teach you about your capacity? What patterns did it reveal? And what did you learn about what nourishes you? Those are the three questions that you need to ask yourself. Second, self-awareness as self-awareness. Self-awareness has got to be critical. Self-awareness is critical, and it's got to be high on your list. Self-awareness is the ability to notice how you are showing up without judgment, but with responsibility. Hey, Miss Diane, how are you? It's awareness of our energy, it's awareness of our tone, it's awareness of our consistency, it's awareness of our boundaries, and it's the awareness of our presence. So as we close the year, we need to ask ourselves questions that require courage. Self-awareness requires courage because it's going to require you to be honest about how you show up. Self-awareness is going to require you to be courageous because you need to ask yourself and you need to be honest about how you are showing up. How are you showing up in your life? How are you really showing up in your life? Not how you intended, but how are you actually showing up? How you are showing up in your commitments when motivation fades. We are getting ready to embark in a new year, and everybody gets excited at the beginning of the year. They create goals or resolutions, whatever you want to call it, and they start out great. The greatest example of that is the gym. If you are a consistent gym goer and you go to your local gym in January, you cannot find a piece of machinery, equipment. You cannot find you can't. It's frustrating. The classes are full, the equipment is all your favorite machine that you can consistently get on. You can't get it. But wait, if you can hang in there through January and the first part of February, by the end of February and definitely by the beginning of March, you will know people's commitment to the goal they set of losing weight or getting fit or whatever it is. Because when that motivation is gone, are they committed to show up even when they don't feel like it? and how you show up in relationships when things feel uncomfortable or inconvenient. Self awareness. How are you showing up? And it's not how you intend to, but how are you really showing up in these areas? Am I showing up in ways that are aligned with who I say I am becoming? Hey, mama. Mama said, ouch. Are you showing up in the ways with who you that are aligned with who you're becoming? And so a lot of us are not self-aware or can't answer that question because you have not identified who you want to be. You have not identified what you want to be. You have not identified the things in your life that are no longer serving you because you are not self-aware. You're not self-aware. Are you aware of how your tone impacts someone? Are you aware of how your actions or lack of actions impact others as well as yourself? Let me go back. Self-awareness is the ability to notice how you are showing up without judgment but with responsibility. Are you consistent? Do you have boundaries? Boundaries are so important because when you have set boundaries, anything that comes your way that is outside of a boundary that you have identified or defined for yourself, if it's not in alignment with who you are or who you are striving to be, then it's easy to dismiss those things. It's easy not to get entangled in those things that do not serve who you are trying to become. And so when you live a life that has no boundaries, then guess what? You are tossed about by every wind and movement when you don't have boundaries. When you have not clearly defined who you are or who you are becoming, then any and everything moves you. So, what does that look like? If I say that hey, Miss Claudia, good evening. If you have established a boundary, and I'm just gonna use getting fit because it's the easiest to envision and relate to. If you have established I want to be more fit. It's not even about pounds, but you just want to be more fit and you want to make better choices. And so if that's the thing, that's the goal, to become a better you physically, then the boundary would be I have set a boundary that in the morning or in the evening at a specific time, I am dedicated to that. Whether it's movement, whether it's meal prep, whatever it is, I have made a commitment or a boundary to fulfill that. But if every Friday, every evening, you get a phone call about going out to dinner and that's your gym time, and you go outside of the boundary, then how is what you're doing aligning with who you're trying to become, which is a healthier you? You got to set some boundaries, but in setting the boundaries, you have to be committed to them. Good evening, Miss Ramona. So how are you showing up? And is the way you are showing up, is it in alignment with who you say you are becoming? And you have to ask yourself that. And if you don't know who it is that you are trying to become, then maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. You can't even show up for you because you don't even know who you are. I don't know if you've ever been in that place in life. I've been there. I've been trying to be what everybody else said or thought, whether good or bad, because I had not taken the time to clearly define me. Who is it that I was trying to be? And then bringing everything else into alignment under that. So how we show up for ourselves and others. Showing up well begins with how we show up for ourselves. Are we listening to our needs or constantly overriding them? Come on, women. We are good at this. We are good at silencing our own needs, overriding what we need for other people. Mothers, raise your hand. You constantly override what it is that you need. What is it that you need in this season? What is it that you require in this season that you need to start listening to and not overriding it? You know, as we change, as we age, our needs change. As we evolve, as we go, as we evolve, as we grow, don't you know what you need changes? I don't need the same thing today or in this season that I needed yesterday or in yesterday's season. Are y'all hearing me? What is it that you need today in this season? In who you have decided to be or where you are going? What is it that you need? Number 2. This is good. This is good. Are we honoring our capacity? Or are we pushing through exhaustion and calling it discipline? I'm not talking to you, to y'all. I'm talking to me. This one hit me like a whole bat upside the head. Are you honoring your capacity? Y'all, we can only hold so much. We were only meant to carry so much. We can only do so much before our capacity is on overload. Are we honoring our capacity or are we pushing through exhaustion and calling it discipline? Oh, because I have all these things going on and I'm just doing them, but I'm dying. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I have no energy. I'm not doing any of them well, but I'm doing them. When you begin to be overwhelmed, that means that your capacity. Oh, hey, Miss Patrice. Welcome to Honeybee. When you become overwhelmed, check your capacity. Because I guarantee you're on overload. You are at capacity. When your emotions are all over the place, when you get snappy or snippy, check your capacity. And are we present, or are you perpetually distracted? Are you present in the moment? Are you present in the moment? Whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in at work, whether it's in your family, whether it's, are you present for yourself? Are you present for yourself? And being present goes back to self-awareness. Are you aware of how you are showing up? And if you don't have self-awareness, 9 times out of 10 you are not present. Being present is being in the moment. You're not distracted. You're not 50 million ways, but you are focused. You are intentional. You are paying attention to the thing that's in front of you. Being present. So how we show up for ourselves determines how we show up everywhere else. Everywhere else. Personally, professionally, in community, everywhere else. So if you're not showing up consistently, if you are not showing up intentionally, if you are not showing up in excellence everywhere else, then you need to pull out the mirror and you need to ask yourself the hard question. How are you showing up for you? And then we need to look outward. Do we show up with integrity? Do you show up with integrity? When nobody's looking, what are you doing? Are you doing it half-heartedly? Or are you doing it with your whole heart? Are you doing it as unto the Lord? Or are you doing just minimally? Just enough to get by, just enough to get recognized, just enough to check the box. Do our words match our actions? Come on. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it, no problem. Then my actions, ugh, I don't even know why I committed to doing this. Ugh, I wish I wouldn't have said, I wish I wouldn't have raised my hand. And then you throwing stuff or you half doing it. You angry all the time. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's worse to say yes and do it, and then your actions and your words don't match up. Just don't do it. Do we follow through, or do we overcommit and underdeliver? Do you overcommit and then underdeliver? So how you show up. Oh, hey, Miss Teresa, Minister Teresa, hello. So, how are you showing up? So, if you show up, what, I'm quiet over here. You got me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help. So, we need to live consciously not reactively. And we need to be intentional, not habitual. We need to live consciously, aware. You need to have some forethought, some intentionality, not reactive. Reactive is always you don't plan. So whatever happens, you just responding to what here and there. But if you plan, if you live intentionally, if you think it out, then that keeps you from being reactive. And when you're intentional, you're not on um when you're intentional and not habitual, you're just doing something out of habit. But when you're intentional, it's with purpose. It has purpose. It's not just checking the box. So here's the thing, this next thing, this is where we get hung up. Growth requires feedback, and feedback requires humility. I don't know what it is about us human beings. We don't like feedback. Our mouth says, now our mouth can say all day long, "Oh, I'm here for feedback. I honor feedback." But then when you get the feedback, do you have enough humility to accept it? Do you have enough humility to chew on it and to self-reflect? Feedback, and this is where I think we get stuck. This is where I think we get lost. This is where I think when it comes to feedback, we cover our ears. Feedback is not a verdict on our worth. It's information. It is information. But I'll say I have always thought doing that was just doing what, Miss Diane? Feedback is not a verdict on your worth. That's why feedback is so uncomfortable, because we think it's about our worth as an individual. For the longest, and I'm gonna talk about me because I know that girl best. I know that chick best. I would get feedback at work, and I would be on the defensive. Agreed, Miss Claudia. I would be on the defensive before it's at my review time. Before a word was ever spoken, I was already ready and perched to defend. Before I even heard anything. Your point about not having everything. Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah. But feedback, it is not tied to my value. It's information for me to intake, for me to then take the information and then process it, lay it over the thing. And then as I heard growing up, eat the meat and spit out the bones. The information, how is the information? Hey, Miss Lisa, how is the information that I have just now received in the form of feedback? Where is it? Where is the truth in it? Where is it applicable? And where do I need to make some adjustments? Can you receive feedback without becoming defensive? For me, that took some time because God had, and that it was a God thing. It was an inside job because I was already, this is what I know. People that already have low self-worth and self-value, it is very hard for them to receive feedback because they automatically tie it back to their value or their worth as an individual. Now, you can take that to the bank because I'm speaking from experience. Can you receive feedback and pause instead of reacting? Can you receive the feedback, pause, hit the pause button instead of reacting? And can you reflect honestly on what you hear about yourself, whether it affirms you or whether it challenges you? Because there are some things that we hear about ourselves that sting. And it goes back to Miss Claudia. I think she said feedback is good depending on how it's given. When you receive feedback, number one, and you are able to trust that the person giving the feedback has your has your best the intent is good, is coming from a good place. When you can trust that it's balanced and it's fair, and even when it's not, can you still pause, not be defensive, but still be able to take the information and reflect on it? Whether it's a pat on the back or whether it's pointing out areas that need improvement. Because if you never receive feedback, and if all the feedback you ever receive is always stellar, none of us are on it 100% of the time, no matter how we like to think that we are. None of us are 100% stellar. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. And that, my friend, is the reality. That, my queen, is the reality. That is the truth of the matter. And so when we can reflect honestly on the information received in the feedback, this is what happens. Reflection reveals misalignment. It reveals misalignment. And so then the question then becomes, am I willing to pivot? Y'all, we have talked about this in the last 6 weeks in Anchored and Accountable. We've talked about these things. Am I willing to pivot? Pivoting is not failure. You can start out on a course in a direction, and you get down the road so far and you realize, because you're self-aware, you're aware of how you're showing up, you're able to take feedback, and you're able to reflect and see where you need to pivot. Pivot just means making an adjustment. It doesn't mean that you failed. So again, it's not tied, it's not saying that it's not about your worth. It's information to help you stay aligned. Pivoting is wisdom in motion. That's all it is. When you pivot, that means that you have taken information, you have assessed where it lines up with where you're going, who you want to be, and it is making the adjustment. That's wisdom. That's wisdom while moving forward. So ending the year well means you're willing to adjust. Hey, Elder Fulton. Ending the year means you're willing to adjust, not because you are wrong, but because you have made a commitment to yourself to grow. You're pivoting, you're making the change, not because there is something wrong. You're just realigning. You are shifting because you are committed to growth. You're committed to moving forward. Don't you know growth is moving? It's just it's motion. It's moving forward. So ending the year well does not mean everything is complete. There are some things that you may not have finished in 2025. It doesn't mean that the whole year was a failure. It doesn't mean that you failed. So what does it mean? It means we need to release what no longer fits. There are some things when you sit down and you reflect on the year, on 2025, there are some things that just no longer fit at the end and that you do not need to take into 2026. Does it mean that you failed? It just means you need to let it go. You need to let it go. I don't know what those things are. You do. And all of us need to let some things go. One of the best gifts that you can give yourself is to take this last week and a half and just sit in reflection. What do you need to release that no longer fits you? What pair of pants have you been trying to squeeze into, and that button then left a mark in the middle of your belly because you done warm and you really need to let them go? What shoe you still trying to hold on to wearing and your knees is saying, no ma'am, we can't be that high no more, we need to come down, and you need to let them go. It has nothing to do with who you are. I am 55. I turned 55 December 13th. Guess what? I am not I ain't even trying. I don't have that 50-year-old body that I once had. And so the things that I loved, I got some outfits, I got some clothes that I dearly loved. But guess what? We not there no more. And girl, it's time to let it go. Let it go. It's somebody else's turn. It's going to be all right. Fall in love with something else. What do you need to let go that no longer fits who you are, who you're striving to be, that no longer is aligning to the person that even God is calling you to be? There are some habits that we need to let go because God is trying to call us up. There are some places God is trying to promote us to, but we're not ready because we won't let some things go. We won't let offense go. We won't let not being able to take feedback go. You won't turn down your plate. You won't devote more time to study. You won't spend time in prayer. You won't grow in prayer. That's God is challenging me. It's time to raise your prayer life. It's time to go deeper. And I've been putting it, me and the Lord over here, we've been having a whole conversation. You know why? Because that's going to require me to let go of some things, to let go of being comfortable. It's going to require the S word. What's the S word? Sacrifice. Sacrifice of my sleep, sacrifice of my time, sacrifice of a yes. Because please know, when you say yes somewhere, you're saying no to something. What it truly means to end the year well is we forgive ourselves for what we didn't yet know. Hey, Miss Brenda. Some of us are holding ourselves hostage over things that you missed, over things that have happened in the past because you did not know, whatever it was. You had not grown to the level yet. Maybe you missed some things and you refuse, you will not forgive yourself because you did not know. And until you release it, there is no way you can move forward. What it means, what it truly means to end the year well, it means we honor effort, not just outcomes. Y'all, be kind to you. I told y'all 2024 that Elder Vivian, every time she saw me, be kind to Sherry. Be kind to Sherry, because I was so critical and hard on me. I was beating myself up left and right. I was in the ring with me. Well, nobody, I didn't even have no opponent. I was the opponent and the defender. I was knocking myself out. Be kind to you. Honor the effort. Give yourself an A for effort. Because sometimes the hardest thing is just trying. And so maybe you tried and didn't it didn't end the way you wanted it to. Or maybe you said you tried, and because you had this lofty goal that you weren't never gonna reach, no way, girl, because you overextended the goal. But you tried it, and maybe you really tried something, and it was a lesson. I'm not gonna say it failed. It was a lesson. But you tried. We get an A for effort. Sometimes we just need to honor the effort, not just the outcome. And as we close the year, we need to have clarity, not urgency. Ending the year well means that you end it with clarity. Why are you running trying to, I can't wait to get to 2026. I just let this year be done. No, slow down. Slow down. Because you need to move into 2026 with clarity. And that clarity comes by reflecting on the year. Not being stuck there, but just reflecting and pulling out the nuggets, pulling out the wins, pulling out the challenges, pulling out the wisdom, the lessons learned. We do not carry unnecessary guilt into the next season. We are not carrying unnecessary guilt in the next season. And that's where the enemy would have us be, because he's the accuser of the brethren. The enemy would love to throw up in your face all the things and to put this big, huge guilt trip on you. And then you get stuck. You get cement boots, you can't move, and now you stuck on the inside in this internal war, this battle in your mind, because the enemy is like, oh girl, you didn't do this. You started it, but you didn't finish. You can't even pray. You started saying you gonna pray this long and you still praying the same old prayer. All the things. But we're not carrying that. We're not carrying that luggage. And if you've carried it up until this point of the year, I am going to encourage you, girl, drop that baggage off and don't pick it up. Go drop it off in the lost and found. Go lose it. It's not serving you, and it's not going to help you move forward. Do not drag old expectations forward. Oh my God. Quit dragging old expectations forward. Let it go. Release yourself and release others. Let it go. Free your mind and free yourself. If something did not meet your expectations, if someone let you down, if you had unrealistic expectations, let it go. Drop it off and remember not to pick it back up. Y'all, we are our own worst enemy. Release old expectations. Wipe the slate clean, whether it's you or somebody else. Wipe the slate clean. Leave the ought, leave it back here, and don't go pick it up. We close the year clean, not by erasing it, but integrating it. We can't erase the things that we've gone through. We can't erase as much as we would like to take the big eraser and erase the thing, right? Erase the offense, erase the challenge, erase the hurt, erase the grief, erase as much as we would like to erase it. It doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. But we integrate it, meaning, again, we pull out the wisdom, we pull out the lesson, we pull out the thing that serves us, that has helped us to grow, that helps us to move forward, and we integrate that into our lives. We learn from that. We pull on it. And everything else, we let it go. So we're rushing into a new year. We're not rushing into this new year fueled by pressure or performance. We're not doing it. We're not performing. We're not doing that. We're not entering into this new year in performance or pressure. But we're going to build this solid foundation all year, y'all. We started out the year building this foundation that we can build on. The foundation is solid. Remember how we started the year? Creating spaces and rhythms to invite the Holy Spirit in, to center ourselves, to pray, and these to pray and study and meditation and all those things. We've been working on this all year long. We've created the foundation. The foundation is solid. Now it's time to build on that. The solid foundation is built on self-awareness over self-judgment. Long gone are the days where we are just over here just condemning ourselves. That we're not doing that. There's no self-condemnation in Jesus Christ. We're done with that. Intentional choices over reactive habits. We are going to start building and living purposeful lives. We've got to be intentional. That means aware. You got to be intentional. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And are the things that you are saying yes to, saying no to, accepting, are they in alignment with who you say you are? Is it in alignment with who you are developing or evolving into? Is it feeding you? Is it serving you? Is it growing you? Is it aligned with your purpose, who God says you are? And if you don't know who that is, that's the first place you start. Because guess what? We every day that we get up, we are marching closer to the end of life. That's not morbid, that's reality. And I don't want to be found wasting any of my precious time being and doing anything other than who God called me to be. Because when I waste time being misaligned with who He says I am, then everyone that I am designated to impact, to reach, to meet along my life's journey on this dash, I am missing the mark. There are people out there waiting on you to be you, to be who God called you to be, to do what God called you to do. So we don't have time to be misaligned. We don't have time to not be living life intentionally. I've got to grow the gifts. I've got to nurture the gifts that He has planted in me. I have got to be prepared for every assignment that comes my way. So I don't have time to not be intentional. Boundaries that protect our energy. If we do not establish boundaries, everything will suck us dry. You won't have enough energy to go lay down. You will not have enough energy to move from point A to point B if you do not establish boundaries in your life. Boundaries are not cuss words. The word boundary is not a cuss word. Boundaries will help keep you aligned, and they will help people understand how to handle you, how to interact with you when you have clearly defined boundaries and you operate within them. Because you can say you have a boundary, but if you don't operate within the boundary that you say you have, people will treat you like a dish rag. They'll walk all over you. Or if they're not walking all over you, then they will always be encroaching in your space, in your life. And you will be now, your rhythms won't be your rhythms, they'll be everybody else's rhythms, because everybody else will be pulling on you because you have not committed to your boundaries, or you have no boundaries at all. Y'all awfully quiet. Y'all not saying nothing over here. Am I stepping on y'all toes? Did I break them? What? And and a solid foundation is built on values that guide our decisions. What are your values? Everybody has values. Everybody has values. Do you know what your values are? The values that you have help you build from there. If you value family, if that is one of your core values is family, then usually you operate from that space. You operate from that space. If one of your core values is service, then you operate from a place of service. What are your core values? You have to define what your values are, and your values guide your decisions. They guide what you do. So we need to ask this: who do I need to be in 2026? Who do you need to be in 2026? Not just what you need to accomplish. And that's very different. That's a very different way to approach going into a new year. Who do you need to be? Who does God say? What is God saying that you need to be? Who do you need to be in the workplace? Who do you need to be in your family? Who do you need to be in your community? Who do you need to be? And when you can answer who you need to be, then moving forward, everything that you choose, everything that you say yes to, everything that you say no to, should then answer the question of who you need to be in 2026. What practices will support the version of you that you are becoming? What disciplines, what habits, what are going to be the things that you do that will support the version of you that you are becoming? If you are not evolving, if you are not growing, if you are not moving forward, then what are you doing? I can assure you that is not God's goal, because God is a moving God. He is ever moving. He is a forward God. He's in motion. So, who or what practices will support the version of you that you are becoming? And lastly, what are you intentionally leaving behind so that you can move forward lighter? What are you intentionally? That means you've got to make a decision. You got to be intentional about this. What are you going to purposely, with great intention, leave behind so that you can move forward? Not just move forward, but move forward lighter in this upcoming year. Aren't you tired of being weighted down? Aren't you tired of moving with things that do not serve who you are or who you are trying to become? Aren't you tired of carrying things that you wish you would have just let go years ago? Aren't you tired of being offended? Aren't you tired of just beating yourself up about this and about that? Aren't you tired of being everything to everyone and not fully understanding or taking a self assessment of who you need to be for you? Aren't you tired? So lighten up. Lighten up. Leave it all behind in 2025. Lighten up. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I want y'all to write. I want you to take a piece of paper, a post-it note. Post-it note. If you've ever been to my house, the door leading into my garage, I know it burns my mother up. She don't talk about it as much as she used to. It's two things. The door needs to be painted, number one. And on that door, there are all kind of post-it notes. All kind of post-it notes. I don't paint the door because the door reminds me of many things. The door reminds me of how unfinished I am and how I am a work in progress. It when I go in and out that door every single day. I walk past that door every single day because it leads into the garage. So every time I face that door, I am reminded that I am still this work in progress. And on there are notes, there are things that God speaks to me. One note, one encounter with the king changes your whole life. It only takes one. So there are just little things on that door. So when I go in it and I come in, it's a reminder of who I am and whose I am. Get a post-it note, and I don't care where you put it, but write, let it go. And every time you see it, it's a reminder. Let it go? Because if it's not serving you, if it's not feeding you, if it's not propelling you forward, you don't need it. And it's a weight. The Bible says, oh, lay aside every sin and weight that so easily besets you. We always talk about the sin, but we never talk about the weights. And many of us are carrying around a lot of weights, and it's hindering us from moving forward. So, as we prepare for the future, as we prepare to put a period at the end of 2025 and walk into 2026, we need to be grounded, we need to be awake and aware, and we need to be intentional. We are not defined by what we completed or what we didn't. We are defined by our willingness to grow, our willingness to reflect, and our willingness to realign. So we are going to move into 2026 with intention, with self-awareness, and with integrity. And most importantly, with the commitment to show up consistently, consciously, and well. So, Queens, we did it. We have made it to the end of 2025. And so, as we round out this last week and a half, I need you to spend some time in self reflection. And so, on that note, I'm going to spend the next week and a half reflecting. So, we won't gather on the 28th. And I know when we break, I always get stressed out when we break. Life happens. And I lose connection, but I'm okay with with willing to take a break next week. But the first Sunday in January, we'll be back. But I need to take a break to reflect. I need to take a break to ask God, where is Honeybee going in 2026? And so if you all would afford me that time, just to do what I'm sharing here, what I'm challenging you to do, afford me that time to just reflect, and to think on the progress, and to hear, where are we going? Where are we going in 2026? I don't know. But when I come back in the first Sunday in January, same time, same place, same bat channel. Maybe another book. Yes, Miss Ramona. Let me tell y'all something. That devotion, and I know people are asking, hard copy, hard copy, hard copy. Y'all, hard copy costs money. And so, but I am anchored and accountable. That will be a hard copy. It's my first devotional and journal. And so I will be working on, yes, I'm working on another one. That one it moved me from being afraid and being critical, picking myself apart. But it's my first baby. So yes, there will be another one. But enjoy the rest of this year. Take some time to reflect. And I just want y'all to know, y'all are the wind beneath my wings. And I know this is a baby that I have just dreamed about pushing. And so next year, I will tell you, I want to have more accountability and bold faith. Is that the title, Miss Ramona? Are you giving me the title for the next one? I will write it down and take it. But next year will be more interactive. I'm thinking that some kind of way, I would love to have it to where we can dialogue. So that might be moving from this Facebook platform um, to a Zoom that will still play on Facebook. So, but then that way we can talk and be more interactive. I would love that. And as well as we'll do another pop up honeybee. So just more to come. But y'all, spend this last week and a half just getting somewhere quiet. If it's not in your home, go steal away somewhere, get quiet, and reflect on 2025. What were the wins? What were the challenges? What were the misses? It's about progress, right? Give yourself an A for effort. And then who are you evolving into? Who is it that God is calling you to be? And what are the boundaries that you need to set in place to be that queen? To be that queen. What disciplines, what habits do you now need to be forming? That you need to be forming intentionally, that feed that and that are going to move you forward. God bless you. Have an amazing week. I won't see you next Sunday, but the first Sunday in January. Can't wait to reconnect. Merry Christmas. You already have the greatest gift, and that's the gift of the Savior. Don't beat yourself up about what isn't under the tree. Um, but the greatest gift I have is love from family and love from this community. And then Happy New Year. Be safe, um, but be well. Rivers, Merry to Christmas. Be safe, but be well. So, girl, just be, honey, be. Good night.